together a character demo,
Mhm.
and I got a fire hose of cartoons that I should be watching. And
Oh,
one
it's
of
live now,
them,
Jay.
huh? Ah,
It's going live. It's good, isn't it, though?
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know its creator had done Kid Cosmic and the OG Powerpuff Girls. I was like, okay, all right.
All right, and I am back just in time to say hello and welcome everyone to this week's mic check. Today, once again, we're doing a little bit of character work. So strap yourselves in, let's have some fun, and we'll start off with a cold reads with Cece. Cece, whenever you're ready, go for it.
A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. And Jamie.
Okay. Let's see, I'm in the wrong place. A group of agents sent to investigate an out of the way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced herself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. Emily.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I had to get my mic set back up. It kind of got messed up. Okie dokie. Let me pull that back up. Okay. Okay. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. Who's here? Justin.
A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. Let's go to Mateo.
Hey, Mateo, you there? Okay, maybe Mateo, whenever you can, let us know when if you're there and willing to read. But Justin, maybe you have to choose someone else.
I'll pick Brett.
A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. And I will pick Sam.
A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that only looked a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. Okay, EB.
Awesome. Okay. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. And has anyone not gone?
Yes, myself, Ravi, and Hatim.
Awesome. I will pass that along to you, Ravi.
Gotcha. Thanks. Sorry if I'm out of breath. I just ran back to get back quickly.
You arrived just in time. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. I guess I'll pass it along to Hatim.
Alrighty. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. And I guess it's Chris. Oh, not Chris, Mike. What am I saying?
I'm being renamed left and right here. All right. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. a meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren. Okay, and Mateo, if you want to participate, let us know. You were here in time, but haven't heard a thing from you. So let's go ahead and talk about this. First things first, let's just get this out of the way. Voiceover or voice under?
Over.
Over. 100%. Still going to ask the question, but it's pretty obvious. You are the sole speaker in this. You are setting the scene. You are introducing the whole thing. Essentially, your role in this is as the DM. You are setting the story, setting the scene, and getting people's minds involved in what's going on. So now let's talk about it a little bit. So what do you get about this person from the script? Is there any indication of like who this person may be, what they're thinking, what's going on with them, anything at all? What are some things you could tell?
Freedom fighter.
Freedom fighter? Okay.
Cunning strategist.
Cunning strategist. Okay.
Leader, definitely, because it says they need your help with, so it sounds like they're the leader.
Yeah, I think that's a bit more apt and appropriate. You are in charge of the situation. So your character should have more of a I've got this whole thing covered kind of feel. That's the idea, at least, that we're going for. So let's take a look at the directions. So the directions actually do give you just a little bit of extra background as to what's going on. So this village, Rotwood, is being raided constantly. And the only person who survived one of the raids informed you or your organization of what's going on, but didn't survive the trip. So you know what's going on, but you don't quite have all the tools that you need to get there. So you've decided for whatever reason to take this on. Maybe your character is altruistic. Maybe you see a business venture, whatever the case may be. You make some decisions around that, because that could really inform a cool character. Again, using the same kind of D&D analogy, if you actually have a backstory to your character, you have more things to play with throughout your performance. So the more decisions you can make on who this person is, the more tools you'll have in your tool belt to take out and use during your performance. So, to answer your question, Justin, Lauren is not the survivor. Lauren is an informant. They promise to supply vital information. So, let's go ahead and talk about what's happening around you. What's going on in the script? What can you tell from the script of the whole situation?
It kind of feels like it has a very almost hopeless vibe to it, because you don't know anything, but yet you're expected to find something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting a maybe not quite desperate yet, but sliding into that, in the sense of like, I'm on the edge. I don't really know what to do anymore, but I'll figure it out, as I always do.
Okay. So maybe there's a hint of determination?
Yeah, that's a good word. Maybe what's the word I'm looking for? Like Alice said, not desperate, but
Exasperated?
maybe.
It could be. I don't see why not, especially if you're like character one. If you want to go the altruistic character route where you want to save the innocent people there, then yeah, I could see exasperated where imagine that you found innocent people who are in need of help and have no idea how to get there to help them. So yeah, that could be pretty exasperating.
I don't know why, but I have I envision when I read the script, I envision Resident Evil 4, like going to a village and somebody disappearing is like a out of the way village, which is like yeah. This is what I'm envisioning.
Okay.
I got Witcher on the brain.
That's a good one too. Fantastic writing in that game.
Feels like one of those quests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I think to me it also seems sort of like a bit of a mystery at the end, because the camp's only been looks like a day or two old, and Lauren's gone missing. But
yeah, it's a good one.
And I think that can play into the hopeless desperation and exasperation. And now the one lead that we did have isn't here.
Okay.
I have a question. Who are the adventurers to me?
Whatever you want them to be. From what it seems like, they're part of your team, so you're working with them. At least that's what the directions say. At the very end, the last sentence, your group is in charge of finding information about Rotwood. So either they're somebody you just recently hired, or they are people that you have worked with before, close friends. Maybe you're in the mix as well. You're all going together and you're just informing them about what's going on. Again, when it comes to character work, there is this sort of stronger element of being a little open-ended. So the only really solid information though that is in the direction here is that your group, so you and them, are closely linked in some way. So you're not necessarily just sending them off.
Okay, because I was thinking either, maybe we give it a little Mysteries Inc., a little bit of a little flavor there. Because if I'm in charge of these people, I should have just a tiny bit of relief that they're here and that we're finally going to make some headway on this. Maybe they know what they're doing and can Sherlock Holmes this thing into completion.
Okay, I like it. So I think altogether we've kind of got this idea of a character who is leading this group, who has more of an understanding of what's going on, but still personally involved with them. And there may be some frustration that you don't necessarily have all of the information, but you do have a hook to sort of get going, to move in the right direction. You think, does that sound about right?
That's pretty solid.
All right. So now that we've got that, the thing is what I'm really going to be listening for personally in the reads is a lot of your own personal involvement. If I want you to actually see the situation again, like we've spoken about before, be in a place, talk to someone, have that whole situation in mind. What's going on around you? What's happening in front of you? Are you around a campfire? Are you walking? Are you riding horses? Just make some choices along the way.
You muted, Michael.
I know. I'm making it a side note.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were still talking to us.
No. So make sure that you're, again, like I've mentioned before, the conversation about that is going to go there regardless. Have somebody in mind, have an idea in mind. Maybe, these are characters from a game that you have played before. Maybe these are people that you know from your own life. Just think of somebody and speak to them directly. I want to hear that one-on-one conversation. I want to hear your conviction about this situation in your read. I want to hear you exactly how you feel about it. Do you think that there's hope? Do you think that there's a way to get there? Or are you frustrated that you maybe don't have as much as you'd thought to go on? These are all the kinds of emotional and personal involvement that will really, really elevate your reads. But before we get into the directed reads, does anybody have any additional comments or questions about the script or what was discussed? Anything at all?
Maybe just regionality of or is that up to us to decide for accent wise or whatever?
Well, so this is set in a medieval setting. So it's more of, village of Rotwood, things like that. It kind of gives it that sort of generic fantasy countryside feel.
Okay.
So if you feel confident in doing something like that, if you think you can maintain it, let's have some fun with it. Just go for it. Again, if it's not going to work, we'll direct you away from it. But yeah, let's have some fun with the accents and the voice style that you choose to use. Let's see if we can bring people in to that medieval feel as much as possible.
Okay.
And just be careful. It does say our informer who introduced himself as Lauren. I heard that get a little bit mixed up there, so just be real careful. Anything else? Any other questions, comments?
Mixed up how?
Some people would say introduced herself as Lauren. So again, usually it's best to be safe to stick to the script. This is not, anything else. It's just what the script says. We'll stick to that.
Got it.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then let's go ahead and get into the directed reads, starting with Cece.
A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rockwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay, opening it up. What did you all think?
I think that the detachment in this does kind of work, but out of curiosity, can we try one with a little more personal investment?
Wait, I'm sorry, Ellis. What was with a little more what?
A little more personal connection to the situation, a little more personal investment. Out of
Okay.
curiosity, can we try one like that?
Okay. I was trying to sound more serious. Do you have a suggestion to make me sound less
You can be
detached?
serious and still be personally connected to things. Like, for example, I'm not even asking for anything positive per se, but just like this is something that I feel.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I agree with Alice on hearing the one with a little more emotional attachment. I feel like the pace was really samey. I didn't hear very much variation to it.
Okay.
So I see where you're coming from when it comes to trying to be a little bit serious, but the only, I think the only like major instance where you could really pull off the seriousness is just the basic information that we have in the first paragraph and then the following sentence. Those two, yeah, you can do a little bit flatter, a little bit more just serious, but the rest of it, you can show that maybe you're happy that you did find an informant, and that this is what was going on. So there's a little bit of hope there. But when we arrived, the camp was a day or two old, but we didn't find anything. You know, maybe there's a little bit of frustration or a little bit of, hey, it's time to get to work in there. So I see what you mean. You can be serious at the very, very beginning, but maybe vary it up with some more emotional attachment, like more of your own personal involvement in the latter half.
Okay. All right, so I guess I'll do my next read then. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rockwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Now, recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
All right. How was that?
I almost feel like the second half started to slip into a bit of a commercial read kind of feel.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little too cheerful, in my humble opinion. So that's what I want to edit out.
Okay.
Where is it?
I like the emotional attachment. You brought that in. Like,
Yeah.
I could feel it this time because
There
the first
was-
read it sounded like a mission briefing
Hmm.
and stuff, which I was originally thinking of also. You know, just because of the way it's written, it sounds like a mission briefing. But yeah, you managed to bring the emotion into it, but I also do
Just
feel
a
like
little.
you
me,
slipped
I
out
think
of
it
it a
came in-
little bit.
I think it came in a little too late. Like I got that, like, what's that word? That shit, whatever adjective before determination. But I only felt that come in at the end.
Okay, so it didn't sound determined enough.
Adjective. Mm, I wouldn't. I
Huh?
wouldn't say that is.
You're cutting out there, buddy.
I'm not talking. I've
It's
not
not-
said a word.
I heard like a lot of noises though before. It sounds like there's like a lot going on over there.
There's not a lot going on.
You know, just like a brr and a buzz.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We all heard it.
Yeah, Alice, it
Somebody
sounded
was
like a
making
car
Taco Bell
starter.
run.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No car started. No car started at all.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
then
Well,
your
leave
microphone
this
sounded
here.
like a car started.
Well, I'm leaving. Not because I got to do something. I just got to switch to my computer.
Okay, well, we'll see you in just a little bit. Hopefully, you'll
All right,
remember that adjective when you get back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to make sure that the second
Solemn.
part doesn't sound commercial, and then I also need to follow an unknown adjective. All right.
Yes, exactly. That unknown adjective part is probably the most key bit of direction you can ever receive on this. But no,
Oh, I remember now. It's solemn. Solemn determination. That's the fucking word.
solemn determination. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. So yeah, let's break down that second half a little bit because I can see what Alice is trying to go for. So there is a little bit of hopefulness with the first two sentences. You know, recently we managed to find a person who had promised to supply necessary information. There's some hopefulness there. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. So, you know, good news on that front. Then details of the thing is just that one sentence, our informer who introduced himself as Lauren. So that can be a little bit flatter. But then at the bottom, then you can have that solemn determination, or that maybe that little bit of disappointment in the way that things have turned out. You know, when we arrived, we found a camp that looked a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay.
So just turn up the personal involvement a little bit. This is what I'm saying. The more of a background you have for your character, the more of a personal involvement your character has with the situation that's going on, the more emotional space you can tend to play with. So we're going for the we want to save these people route. And that involves you having that sort of determination or disappointment when things fall through sound.
Okay. All right, I'll try something. I don't know if I'll be able to execute this, but
You can
I'll
do.
try.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Okay. I'm not much of a character person, but I do need practice. That's why I still wanted to read.
Hey, you know what? The more you challenge yourself and the more you push your boundaries, the more you'll grow.
All right, let's give me a second. Let me just try.
No problem. Take your time whenever you're ready.
All right. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay. What did you all think of that one?
I'd like to have a more grim feel on that single line, that not much is known at all. Like kind of like where you almost have a shift, even from the bleakness of the first paragraph, like it gets even bleaker because you don't have that much information at all. Like, so like I would just emphasize that in a more grim way.
Oh, okay.
And then also transition. Obviously, you're going to have another transition to a more hopeful thing from grim right after that, to the recently we managed line. So yeah, it's a fun transition, fun transition-y piece, I think. So
Yeah,
I'd
take
just have
my
fun with that.
sorry, but I take my earlier comment back. I'm not hearing commercial. I'm hearing e-learning. I'm almost getting an e-learning vibe.
Okay.
I second that because of the first half, I heard an e-learning vibe, and then it shifted, and the second one.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm just getting the vibe of sitting in front of a computer and having this being read to me.
No, it's okay.
I
I'm
mean,
just
which
trying.
obviously I am, but still.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
the bad e-learning. Because we're voice actors here. We're here to make e-learning better.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I can put more into it.
So the thing is a lot of where your emotional tone goes depends on how you start. So what do I mean by that? If you start up really high here, it's going to be really difficult and it's going to sound really bad to push it even higher. But if you start really low, if you start really straightforward, then you can notice the slight differences when you add that in a little bit later on. So when you start up, when you deliver that first paragraph and that sentence right in the middle there, that should be direct. That should just be a group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. This is just straight up information. This is our situation. Not much is known at all. That is kind of it's bad news. It's not really great. We don't have anything. So that can have a slight negative turn to it, because if you start off with just flat, solid, here's the information, when you add in that little bit of not much is known at all, can stick out more. So I think what you're trying to do, what it sounds like you're trying to do, particularly on that second half, is you're trying to sound cheery. We're not talking about you, Sam. You're trying to sound a lot more cheery and happy than you were before, but you can add that tone in with a little bit of a hopeful turn. Recently we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. Make that sound like good news. That slight turn at the very end really helps it. That slight ending off on either a mid note or an up note. Again, that we've discussed that in feedback sessions in the past, where mid notes and up notes sound happier. They sound more hopeful. They sound more positive, where down notes tend to sound more authoritative and negative. So vary the way that you end your sentences as well.
Okay. All right, give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see. A group of agents, oh, excuse me. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay. What did you all think of that one?
For some reason, you're going up in the middle of the sentence. Just before you go, I really heard it on our informer, who introduces Lauren. You're going up on informer and Lauren. Yeah, if you're going to do that, I would pick one spot. And at the very last sentence, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old. It didn't sound like you should have gone up there, because you're describing the camp, but you're tacking on Lauren's whereabouts at the end of that, and that should be the final nail in the coffin, as it were.
I second Jay.
Yeah, I didn't
I
even
think-
realize what's going on. Oh, sorry.
No, I think one thing I was going to suggest is maybe when you in the last line when you say looked only a day or two old and then but no sign of Lauren, I think you should give it a bit more of a beat in between, because I think this last one you read a little bit quickly through that, or didn't give it enough of a pause, because you're sort of introducing this sort of hopefulness and then turning it because you're saying your informant's basically gone.
You just throw this out there, and you can do with it what you will. It's not written there in the script, but if you want this to sound like you're saying it instead of reading it, perhaps throw in a sigh.
I was
is your
just going to
sigh
say
of
that.
Exasperation. This is going to add to the exasperation that you're looking for. It's only a day or two old, but no sign. something like that.
Yeah. Or a pause or something, just a little extra something. And yeah, Ellis, we can hear you. It's just incredibly low. You might want to turn your gain up.
Yeah, Ellis, I couldn't hear you.
Which of your microphones is coming through? You don't have one of those knockoffs.
I was about to
Plug
say
in,
that.
do you?
This is my beautiful baby, my SE2200, my real one. You know what? Hold on.
Sorry, Ellis, you're gonna have that stigma on you from here on out.
Knockoff portrayal over there.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's fine. I asked for that. Hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess it is just something wrong with that one. Whatever. What I was gonna say was the same thing on Our Informer. I want to separate those ideas a little more. It's the same as saying like Lauren, the person who gave us our information. You're saying one thing, that's the idea, and then you're adding information on top of that. It's not just one straight shot, which is what I got this time. So just a tiny bit more of a break between those, and I'll be content.
okay. Can I just not read this again? I don't think I have it in me. Like I have no other. Like I just have to be honest. Like
Okay.
I'm not a character actor. This is the hardest script for me that we've done yet.
You are doing a fine job. All of these we're getting really, really nitpicky with a lot of this. So the thing is when it comes to character acting, at least for the most part, in my experience, the more that you either know about the character or the more choices that you make about who they are, the easier it is to get into the mindset. And that this could be a good place to start. Again, I've mentioned it before. If you've never played it before, that's totally fine. But D&D is a good way to get into character acting. It's sort of like the baby's first character VO, where you have to create your character's background and everything about them, and then inhabit that character, try to bring them to life. So, yeah, Mateo also says, or watch Critical Role, just other people who might be playing it, and see what they do. Character acting is, I mean, there are some characters, particularly cartoony characters, where it's more theatrical in the sense of voice quirks and changing up delivery style and things like that. If you can do crazy voices or whatnot, that can help. Not 100% necessary, but it can help. But when it comes to more serious character acting, it's all about being in the scene, seeing what's going on, seeing what's happening around you, and sort of communicating all of that together. Video game VO, like, because a lot of it is much more serious than generally tends to be more serious than cartoon or anime VO. That is a little bit more of what we're going for with this particular read here. It's straightforward. It's one person interacting with another person, and but watching things like people playing D&D or certain more serious games are really good resources to start to see what that kind of performance is like. Again, though, this most recent read is a big departure from where you started, so it has improved. And I understand that we're pushing you a little farther outside of your comfort zone than you might be used to, but you're doing a fine job. It's just minor little things that we wanted to hear changed. But if you're feeling like you really can't do it, we'll go ahead and move on.
Yeah, because to me, like, I see a little bit of difference, but I don't really feel much of a difference between my reads. And I know for me, like, I'm visualizing and stuff and all of that, but it's not coming out in the read. And if I keep doing it, like, I'm the type of person who already hates redoing something over and over. So I'm just sitting here like, I don't.
Then what are you doing wanting to get into VO? What?
Well, we'll get into that another time. But I especially don't like to do it over and over for character. Like, I have nothing else in me.
Okay.
So-
All right. Well, then we'll go ahead and move on. All right, Jamie, you're up. Jamie, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes, we can.
Okay. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply the necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn, called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
All right. What did you all think of that?
I can see the bar where he's talking to the guy.
It is.
Gonna be honest, it kind of gave me more the feeling of the adventure had already happened and you're relaying what had happened as if it's a bar's tale to tell on a fun evening out with your village buddies versus, hey, this is something we've got to do.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounded to me like you were kind of reading like a book to a child. Like, this is what happened in this grandiose tale of mine. That's the kind of vibe I got from it.
Sounds like one of my
Alright.
rants.
Right, so how do we fix this?
Let's give this a try. Give it a lead in. Just give it a couple words like, all right, so here's the deal. You're talking to, I can see that you're talking to one other person, but it's less of a trying to inform them and not recruit them, but apprise them of the general situation that you're in, and more of just, here's a grand tale to tell. So I'd like your character to be a little bit more down to business, you know? So the very beginning stuff is just flat information, and the rest of it can have more of that emotional involvement of, well, here's what we found, here's what's going on, but unfortunately, this is how it all turned out.
Okay. All right. Ready to try it again. All right, listen up, y'all. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn, called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
All right, and how is that?
I liked
I
it.
think it was closer to what I wanted. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Kind of hurts me that you leaned away from my rant, but that's fine. I thought we were closer to that. But oh, by the way, I figured out what the fuck it was. I'm an idiot, and I didn't notice that I had my 20 dB pad on.
Always the little things.
Yeah.
I think I liked it. It was way more towards the direction we gave. I think you moved away from it just on the last line, right after the comma, because I heard a lot of more again the child's tale, remembering whatever. Because you gave it a pause and they gave it a lot more of drama or pizzazz. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually, I kind of want you to kill a tiny bit of that passion
Okay.
because right now, the amount of passion you have is just a little too much to the point where it's like you don't seem to be in control of the situation. You're kind of losing it at the fact that you're helpless, which I think can work. I don't think it works with the performance you're giving.
Does the character
mean-
voice maintain itself all the way through? Because I wasn't listening to myself.
I think so, yeah.
Oh,
You did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, you maintain the character voice. We'd like you to have a little bit more focus on your emotional space, particularly the difference between, again, that first paragraph and that middle sentence, and then the second paragraph. I think it's the main thing.
I think like right now, I guess we'll say the range of your emotion is fine for me.
Yeah,
I don't like the extent
I
of it.
agree.
I think right now we're at maybe like a 9 or a 10. So let's bring that down to maybe a 7.4.
Okay. Gotcha.
0.4. Damn.
Yes, a 7.4.
Because I would have questioned you at 0.5. You understand that?
Surgical.
0.5 is a
Surgical.
little too high for me. I have a very specific idea of what a 0.5 is, and I don't think that fits here.
A fucking
Why are you
sniper.
laughing? This isn't a joke.
Well, Ellis, first you directed CC towards an unknown adjective, and
Just
now
slipped my mind.
Jamie 7.4, because 7.5 would just be
7.4.
too much, and
It is.
7.3 would just be a little too little. We want right
Yes.
there at 4.
Well, no, I just don't like the number 3.
Wow.
I don't.
Fine.
So 7.3 is just no, we just can't use that. And 7.2 way
can't.
too low.
You
I
said
can't.
that
You
out here in
guys
front of
can.
everybody.
I just hate the 7.3. If you guys want to use it, that's fine. Just know it didn't come from me.
Anyway, yeah, I think it's just the variance between your investment from the beginning, from the first paragraph, middle sentence, and the second one. So let's see if we can't be a little bit flatter towards the very beginning. Again, this is just the situation, and at the end, this is how it's developing.
Got it. All right, Joe, listen up. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. In fact, not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
I liked the difference that you added in there. You brought the overall emotional range down more, which since we're trying to go for more of that, a little bit more of a serious tone. Again, this is kind of a difficult situation that this village is stuck in, but I liked the emotional range that you were in, and I liked the difference that you gave the first half versus the second. What did you all think?
See, that's why I went with 7.4. You doubted me.
How dare you doubt Ellis, Michael? How dare?
There's
Trust
a
the
method to the
process.
madness sometimes. Other times I just say words and see what happens.
I promise.
You
this goes
say,
somewhere.
Ellis, you say that there's a method to your madness. It seems more like there's just madness in your method.
There is sometimes a method
Beauty.
to my madness. Let's not get it twisted. On occasion, my exact words.
Every once in a
sometimes.
while.
Yeah, a lot of times I just say words to see what'll happen.
You just throw everything against the wall and see what sticks, huh?
Yep. I probably shouldn't have admitted that. Whatever.
I'll be a lot more careful now. So, anybody besides Ellis, what did you all think of that?
I think it was good.
I
Overall,
second
follow the,
that.
yeah,
Agreed.
follow the instructions. Pretty good.
Tell you why this was hard for me. Y'all know, well, most of you know that I only have one character and it's loud. So to try to corral it into a passage of some sort and to maintain it is a bit of a challenge.
I would say that that's kind of the prevailing challenge of character work in general. But
yeah,
here, you did it. You maintained it, and you really brought us into the scene a lot more than your previous reads. So you have just proven, Jamie, that you can play more subtle characters. Maybe this one was still a little bit up there in character terms, but it's a little bit more subtle.
Ain't gonna know it was 7.3. Doggone it.
Well, anyway, you did a fantastic job. I think it's pretty safe to say, let's move on. Emily, you're up.
Yep.
Alrighty. Should I try with or without any kind of accent first?
Have fun with it. This is entirely your performance.
Okay, I apologize to any person out there that
You
I may
are
or may not butcher
breaking
their
the
accent.
Nephilim rule.
I will
apologizing to
kill
the
you.
people.
Oh.
I'm not apologizing for my performance. I'm apologizing.
Yes, you are. You are.
Yeah,
you
you
absolutely
are.
I
You're just
only show up
apologizing
once a
before you
month,
do
and
it.
this is what happens.
For example, if I were to walk up to Michael and steal his shoes, but before I did it, I said, "Sorry, Michael, for what I'm about to do," I'm still apologizing for what I'm doing.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
all right. I accept
No apologizing
my...
before, during, or after,
or after my read.
your performance.
Okay. There you go. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay, opening it up. What did you all think?
I like the pace, but not the speed. If if someone's going to animate to this, I want you to keep that what is it, the patter, the pace that you were going.
Meter?
But yeah, meter, that's the one. Give me that meter, but take it down a half step.
Okay, can you explain that just a little?
Sure. Give me the same meter of the syllables, but give me some space between the words.
Okay, I gotcha.
All right.
Gotcha. Anyone else?
No, that's really solid feedback. Go for it.
Alrighty, cool. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay. What did you all think?
Now, what's playing out in my head is it's reading like a flashback to me.
Okay.
And though I like it, you gotta if we're talking to whoever this group is, they need to be able to hear you.
Okay.
So you're not on a mic, you're not on Zoom. You're talking directly to them. They're right in front of you.
Okay.
So give it that mix.
Tamia said it sounded depressed throughout the whole thing to me. Okay, so try to vary up the
agree.
emotional.
I agree.
Yeah.
On the press, maybe not the press, more like just sad, which maybe you're trying to be serious and you're going more towards sad in your attempt, which is fine. Maybe we have to add a little more agency, as in speed, or not that we are going to Barry Allen this, but but
Love it.
maybe more forthright, more resolute. Yeah.
Like
when I read this, I like what comes to mind a lot is Nick Fury from MCU Avengers, when he makes like rendezvous or brainstorming with the Avengers when he's basically filing out informations and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it feels a little too introspective. It feels like you're reflecting on a failure that you had instead of providing the necessary information to your subordinates for them to do their job.
All right.
All right. Whenever you're ready, give us another read.
Alrighty. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission, since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait there for us each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay. What did you think of that? Did Emily apply the directions?
I think she did. That sounded
so.
a lot better to me. It sounded more upfront and less journal-ish.
I don't know if this happened to anyone. This is just a really small thing. It felt to me like you thought about dropping your accent at the beginning and you had gotten through part of the sentence before you remembered, hey, I should be doing that. That might just be something I heard, but in case it wasn't.
And just, I only heard it once in Ruins, and then I never heard the Rolled R again.
Yeah, okay. Because so the thing about that, you can do the accent or not, but just know your choices need conviction.
I was running out of breath. The rolling the R's takes a lot of breath for me, and I was starting to run out of breath.
Okay, well then.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you don't want to do it, don't. If you are going to do it. But you need to keep that decision throughout.
Okay.
I would say it sounds like right now the accent is getting in the way of your performance.
Okay.
Because you're spending a lot more air than you should on simple things, and I can tell that that's pulling your attention more to that rather than to the emotional delivery, which you're really close on. You just need that slight little change. So again, this time, drop the accent. You lead this group. You're in charge. You're informing everybody of what's going on.
Okay.
Let's hear that.
Alrighty. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay. What did y'all think of that?
So I think this time information is being presented, but it's in the way that a narrator would. Someone who is not invested, someone who is completely disassociated from the situation.
Okay, so it's two
although-
off this time.
Could you argue that maybe this is how they're getting through it? In order to try to, I don't know. I don't know if you know any cops. Sometimes that's what they have to do to just kind of focus on their job, focus on what the gigantic task, the life or death task in front of them. It's not a standard, but just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I can see that. And I do think that technically this read is fine, but I still want to see if we can't get just a tiny bit more of the personal investment, just a little bit more.
Let's work on that after the mic check because we have a lot less time than I thought.
Yeah, that's cool.
So stick around. We'll work on that afterwards.
Okay, cool.
But we're
Thanks,
not
y'all.
done yet. So moving right along, Justin, you're up.
You guys can hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a map. We found a camp that looked a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay, opening it up. What did you all think?
I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I do not like the accent.
It seems like you can do that accent strongly at that volume, but maybe struggle if you have to yell, or if you are what we're doing here, like presenting, you've got to project your voice. You may not be able to do it with that accent.
Yeah, I like how Michael was saying with my performance, it feels like you're putting too much effort into the accent and not focusing on the acting.
Yeah.
See, the funny thing is, though, is that the emotional space, your actual delivery, was fine.
There.
I thought it was there. I thought it was good. But yeah, it was really hampered by that accent.
Yeah, that accent is really distracting.
So I think we could all agree, drop the accent, give us one more read.
Yeah.
And maybe go a tiny teensy little bit slower.
Real quick, since we're talking on accents and stuff, Bob Bergen, the current most voice of Porky Pig and stuff, he has a really good quote that I like, and I think it applies to accents too, but it's more or less for impressions. He's like, "Oh, that's cool, you can do Porky Pig, but can you do Porky Pig doing a Shakespearean play?" So like, if you can do the accent, cool, but can you keep it up with the performance? And I think that's what Jamie was kind of leading into that. and stuff. So yeah, make sure like if you're gonna do an accent, you get it flushed out first and make sure you can like maintain it the whole time and perform in all kinds of different ways, you know, all kinds of different emotions and stuff. So yeah, just wanted to mention that.
So again, give us the read that you did minus the accent whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, there's no other place to practice it than here. Okay. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Yeah, you see, that was really solid.
Yeah, I agree.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Left no imprint on my mind. That's good, by the way.
Ellisisms.
I was gonna say, is this a bad thing?
No.
Yeah, I was wondering too. I didn't know how to
That's
take
just a
it.
thing that I say because like usually when I don't like something, it is screaming in my head over and over. And it's like, oh gosh, I gotta talk about that like right now. But if there's nothing going on, my head's empty. Nothing but my small, smooth brain.
We might have to create a new channel in the Discord just called Ellisisms.
Yeah,
Classic
I'm
knockoff
special.
portrayal.
Yeah.
Oh, that Star X 2 arrived the other day.
What?
One of the microphones.
This is a story
that
for
he's-
later. But
yeah. Okay, so I think we can agree. The situation of the read, like the choices that you're making during the read, fantastic. That accent didn't really service the read, and it could mostly it was because not only was it inconsistent, it wavered here or there. It became something else here, like at certain points. So that if you want to use that accent in the future, try applying it to other reads. Like just keep using it on the side, and like we're not telling you never use it again. I just feel that it really hampered this particular read because you haven't practiced it that much on your own.
Yeah.
But again, that was really it. Nobody actually had notes on your performance itself because you can do it. So I'm actually really happy with that. I think these two takes absolutely fine. So practice the accent on the side. Bring it back to us in a future one, because of course we're going to keep coming back to character scripts again and again because everybody hounds me about that. So moving right along, Brett, you are up.
Thank you.
Yeah, so has anybody actually like in here done like formal accent training, like through any formal programs or anything?
Nope.
No? Okay. Because I recommend the Second City. They have an online thing and they run you through accents. And I think her teaching, her name's Cooper. Like she really breaks down like the mechanics of certain vowels and sounds and stuff when like, I don't know, it's just a really good training program and it's helped me a lot. But I can help people if anybody ever wants to learn certain accents that I know and stuff. I can give you my cheat sheets.
This is a school you said called the
Yeah,
Second?
it's Second City. They do them online. Second City, I know she's in Hollywood, but it's an online thing. And I did 3 different full courses. We went through like Cockney, received pronunciation, Italian, Irish, Scottish, Russian, Spanish, and then a bunch of American ones like US regions and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. Second City, Cooper Shaw. She's great. I love her. Anyway, okay. Sorry. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay, opening it up. What did y'all think?
There were a couple places where it sounded like the accent was lost. That's the only thing I have to say.
Any specifics of where, maybe?
Like the not much at all, and then there was another one right after that sounded like it got lost.
Hmm.
I don't know. My head empty. I'm sorry.
Well, crikey, a group of agents sent to investigate.
No. Sorry, Brett. In the chat, I was responding to Justin.
Okay.
No. That wasn't to you.
I was like, I don't know.
No. All of my feedback I give, I actually unmute and speak, unlike some people here. So the thing is you went a really interesting route because your read, all in all, was a lot more upbeat than the other ones previously. It sounded like, hey, this is kind of cool, actually. Get to be at work, get to do an investigation. All right. It didn't have that same kind of seriousness that we were trying to go for in the past ones.
Okay.
The thing is again, you made that choice and you stuck with it all the way through. The accent was pretty solid, but it kind of wavered a little bit at closer to the very end. But again, for the most part, it was really solid. I would say go for it one more time.
Okay.
Try to be a little bit more
serious,
down to business.
Yeah. Okay.
Assertive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Step on me.
God damn it.
I told you about that incident in confidence material.
A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old rooms near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
All right, opening it up. How was that one?
It sounds this time like you are really kind of excited that this happened to send your people out. And I think that's really clear on the way you're hitting exact location and Lauren promised to wait for us there. Because right now it's since the village's exact location, since you're sort of stretching that out, it makes it feel like, oh, isn't that just neat? They're like, Lauren promised to wait for us there each morning from
Oh.
8 to 10 o'clock.
Okay,
Oh,
so
how,
hit that
how
once.
quaint.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, well, isn't that fascinating?
Okay, because yeah, I
So
was
I would
definitely hitting
just-
it on purpose.
So I would just shrink those the tiniest bit.
And what was the other one? I'm sorry.
Which one are you thinking of?
Um,
Which
I-
one
I-
do you-
the exact location. And what was the other one I was hitting?
8 to 10 o'clock.
8 to 10 o'clock. Okay.
Those are the things that are jumping out to me.
Okay.
I didn't like the ending line, but no sign of Lauren. It almost sounded more like you were confused about the fact that it could happen, which I understand that could be a possibility, but I feel like at this point since you're relaying this information, you would more than likely have had time to process your confusion, and you need to relay this to them without that.
Oh,
Quick question. Is your character a noble type? Like upper class,
Oh,
Irish citizen kind of thing?
No, I was picturing kind of a like not peasant, but like I don't know. Like
Sort of
like
middle
someone who
class?
was recruited into like as a soldier, like a soldier kind of. Yeah.
A soldier. Okay, because the delivery that you gave was very much so a sort of like a noble style.
like being
you know,
uncomfortable.
Yes, mostly separated from the trifles of the lower classes. They can
Lesser
do all of that investigating in the mud. I have more pressing matters to deal with. It gave off more of that vibe.
yeah.
Interesting.
If
Thinking about it.
yeah, if you want to go for something like that, muddy that up a little bit more. Go for more of like a Cockney.
Okay, that's a different read entirely.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I realize now what it is that I was getting from the exact location. It's not so much that you're hitting it, because that is important. It's if you are going to do it, if you are going to hit exact location, I think you should really focus on exact. The village's exact location, as opposed to the village's exact location. That's what it was.
Oh, I'm drawing it out too much.
Yeah, that's what.
Rather than I'm not punching, I'm just okay,
Yeah.
elongating it.
It's not. Yeah, you're emphasizing it, absolutely. But
Okay,
since
and that
you're
actually
drawing it
goes
out
in with that
too-
nobleman thing because
Yep.
they elongate. Okay, I got it. I get it now. Okay.
Question at the end.
Yeah.
You say no sign of Lauren. Was your state of mind frustration or sadness? Because I couldn't really tell.
It was what I was going for was kind of a bit of confusion. Like I think it was Emily said that. But I was trying to convey like a little bit of I guess confusion and solemnness, like worry that something happened to Lauren for him to not be there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but I'll try to hit that differently.
All right. Whenever you're ready, go for it.
Okay. A group of agents set to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
See, personally, I feel that suits more of like a soldier just trying to do his duty.
Yeah, I'm just not as strong
So-
on Cockney.
The thing is you kept with it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not your strongest
Yeah.
accent, but it was consistent.
Yeah.
What did you all think? I'm going to open it up to everybody.
I'm
Yeah, I-
vibing with that emotional space. That's nice.
I think it lost the emotional space. I
Yeah.
agree with Ellis.
Whoa, no, I said I'm vibing with the.
Oh, you were
emotional
vibing
space.
with that? I thought you said it lost it.
Eh,
Oh.
Well, then I don't agree with Ellis.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I think
Uh-oh.
it lost the emotional space.
Emily and Ellis Civil War.
Whoa.
Battle of the.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think it didn't have the same one as before, but I think the emotional space here worked a lot better with this, and this is my favorite read.
Okay.
Mm.
My teeth hurt.
Oh, Ellis, never mute your microphone. The stuff that comes from it is pure gold. Maybe it was because of the variance of the accent you used. Again, I still feel that this hit what you were originally going for, what you originally
Yeah.
described, better than the previous accent, just because you were kind of forced to bring a lot of your tone down from that higher pitch to more of the a little bit deeper into your register, which again to me communicated a lot more of that seriousness of hey, this is the situation, let's go and get this done
Okay.
kind of feel. So that's more of what I got from it. And I think just altering just that just the accent really made a big difference. So I was happy with it. Ellis was happy with it. Emily's not. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but nobody else is speaking up. So
I'm happy with it.
Yay.
hey, but at least you got another. I mean, you can pull off that accent.
Yeah.
You can.
I
You
just
can do
haven't
it.
played with it as much as I've played with others.
Yeah,
stuff,
and that's fine. But there's a little bit of a bonus to that because you're not overthinking it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we have a bad sometimes we have a bad habit of overthinking our style of performance, which
Yeah.
would include an accent. And because that was a little bit less comfortable for you, you weren't overthinking it. You were in just the right zone.
Okay.
So, and yes, Justin,
Yes,
accents.
accents are hard. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move it along to Sam. Whenever you're ready, Sam, go for it.
All right. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
All right. Feedback time.
Slow down, more variation.
Yeah, it felt like really choppy,
that.
like
It
You'd
felt
read
like
and
you
then stop,
recorded
and
each
you-
of these words separately, put them together in post, and then played them. So,
So like
guess-
robotic?
in summary, yeah. So in
Yeah.
summary, I just want you to put a little more thought into why you are saying these words, what this situation means to you.
I'm going to agree with Justin here. I did get the seriousness and
see.
sense of urgency,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, slow it down a little bit and try to be more purposeful in saying what you're saying.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that only looked a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
I'm really feeling that one.
Yeah, I feel like the pace was right. Like I really did like the pace.
Right, spot on.
And
The
Based.
only thing.
there was definitely more
Yes.
emotion involved also.
Mhm.
So
The only thing, and this is just a tiny thing, is for you to dirty up your language a bit. What do I mean? I mean, make
Add
it
F-bombs
more.
everywhere. Just kidding.
No, that is not what I meant. I mean,
You were thinking it though.
start.
We all were.
Well, okay. What I mean is, you can start to look for a couple one-syllable words to start to run together. This humanizes it just a little bit more, in my opinion, because you were hitting every syllable like you were supposed to as a proper speaker. Now, if you know this group, you're familiar with this group, you're going to stay focused, but relaxed a little bit. So your speech should reflect that.
And just a quick question. I got kind of hung up on the feedback I got last mic check, and I was wondering if I got better at delivering the lines to sound less I was reading it off the paper.
Yes, this
Well,
will help you to, this will enhance that.
Yeah.
Now,
All in all,
if
yes.
your lead-ins want to be F-bombs, that's up to you.
I also didn't think about it.
One thing I will say is that there were certain points in the script, like with the we can't even attempt a rescue mission or a meeting was arranged, where you almost dragged it out just a smidge of a second too long. What I feel made it almost sound like you were even hesitating to say the rest of the sentence, like you didn't want to say the rest of the sentence. Like you were trying to find a way around saying it almost.
Okay.
I'll agree in that I did kind of get a tiny bit of overthinking, but it doesn't really bother me that much here.
I'll take it. If there's no other complaints, I'll take it.
Well, the thing is yes, you. All in all, just to address your first concern, you are less. The delivery, all in all, is less robotic. The way that we want to change it up, though, is we want you to sound just again more personally involved, like you are in the scene, whatever the scene is around you, whatever you're seeing. Really be there. If you're talking to one person, talk to one person. If you're talking to a group of people, then talk to a group of people. But again, you need to separate yourself from the current situation that you're in of, hey, you're in front of a bunch of people on Zoom reading a script, and try to see what's going on and be involved with what's going on.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say, the direction you just got, that's in your head now, do not consciously think of it as you perform your next read.
Throwing the real challenge out here. And with that, whenever you're
So
ready,
hear it,
Sam,
but
go
don't
for it.
think
One
about
more.
it. Okay. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that only looked a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
That was solid.
I like that ending there. Ooh.
That was solid. That was a really solid
Start
read.
was clean.
Yeah, and I like the ending too.
Yeah, that was really solid.
I feel bad being the only one again saying that. I don't
Go
like.
ahead.
It's okay. Hey, you know what? It's valid. What are you feeling?
is.
What are you thinking?
I feel like it was too fast and same paced. I liked the emotion.
Really?
The emotion was amazing. Don't change that at all.
Yeah. Hmm.
Too fast and
You know what? You
I think
could,
the
you
second
could,
half, yeah.
you could stand to just take it down
Yeah.
just a hair, just
But
a hair.
the
I mean, we're
emotion
not
was
talking
amazing.
about going back
I-
to presentation and e-learning. Keep that pace, just like I was telling Emily. Keep that patter, the meter, put some space between those words.
I was
I
gonna
don't know.
say
I think it was pretty based.
Yeah, there goes Mateo.
what's
This
that? What's
guy.
based?
Oh boy.
No one
Oh,
really
you're
knows.
asking based upon what?
It's just
Stop
something
it.
he's
Oh my
been
God.
throwing
Stop
out
doing
for the
this
last
thing you
couple.
do.
We're okay. Sure. I'm gonna say I can see where your read could be tweaked a little bit, but I think for the most part this read really showed that you overcame some of either the insecurities or challenges that you've been facing with previous scripts where we kind of give you the same directions over and over again of muddying things up and whatnot. That I like I said, I actually really liked this most recent read. I could see what was going on, and it sounded much more natural of a delivery than like, for example, when you first started joining with us. So good changes all around. Yeah, you could do some minor tweaks. I think we would be really getting a little too far into the weeds, particularly with how much time we have left. So I'm going to say, well, let's come back to you after we're done recording. But again, I think for the most part, it's really going to be minor tweaks and changes that's going to be happening rather than any grand sweeping things. Because you're really, really on the dot there.
Mm-hmm.
What did you want to say, Brett?
Okay.
Oh, I was just gonna partially agree with at least Justin, not fully with Emily. I'm in the middle between everyone. That first paragraph, that first part, you fucking nailed that. Sorry, pardon. my French.
Yes.
Whatever, it's fine.
Like
Whatever.
I loved that first one. And then the second paragraph kind of went back to what you tend to do, but then I think you caught on to that. By the time you got to the last sentence, you nailed the last sentence for me. So it's just that first part of the second paragraph where I think you just lost it for me for a little bit. But I agree with what Michael's saying too. Like, this is one of your most solid reads that I've heard you do since I've known you and been in here and stuff. You're
Mhm.
definitely
This was
on the
good.
right track and stuff. I'm impressed.
Well, yeah. We'll put a pin in that. We'll get back to it. Maybe we can do a little bit more adjusting, but I think let's go ahead and move on for right now. So, Ravi, you are up.
Wait, what? Wasn't I before Ravi?
Were you?
In the cold reads, I
Yeah,
believe so.
Because I was
Yes,
EB,
yes.
and then
I'm sorry.
No,
you,
I
let's just
said,
you
I
popped
said
it out.
EB.
Things changed.
Yeah, I said.
Yeah, EB, Ellis
I
Bertrell.
remember saying. I thought I said
Yeah.
EB because I thought.
Okay. Well, yes, Ellis, you're up. Go for it whenever
Okay.
you're ready.
Yeah. Cool. Just making sure. Thought I was in trouble or something. Thought this was a punishment. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay. Before I give any feedback, I just have to pick your brain about something. Who is this character? Ellis?
You killed them. Good job.
No, it's just people always want to talk to me when I'm doing stuff. Hey, to me, this is a Professor X type character. Someone who is behind the scenes, but who always does have the intentions of, I want to help these people.
Okay. I just wanted to verify because that was the vibe that I got from that read.
Mm-hmm.
You are a less connected to the actual, situation character than what others have gone for.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it sounded like you were intentionally trying to keep this a lot quieter than normal speaking, than your normal interactions. Is this sort of a secret mission that you're putting these people on?
That's what I had in mind. I thought of this group as, maybe as my elite task force where they can do what these other agents failed to do. But I don't want to panic anyone, so I'm just, okay, guys, I'm going to send you out. Do your thing. Here's what you need to know.
Okay, so there's a little bit of incongruence there because if these are your elite soldiers, why would you not want to freak them out? If you believe that they're going to be freaked out, are they really elite soldiers?
No, I don't want to freak out. I don't want the others to get freaked out by like, oh, geez, he's sending out them. This is a bigger deal than we thought.
Oh, okay. So you're speaking in front of a bigger group of people.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that we have that context, I'm going to open it up. What did you all think?
It felt vibeless to me.
Oh, we were lacking vibes.
Whoa.
I was just going to say, to me, it sounded like an audiobook read.
How so?
I was gonna say there was like one single emotion throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I think, that's what I'm going for.
Like there was no variances of severity.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Almost back to the e-learning.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, based on that, give us another read. Change it up a bit.
You said it.
Okay. Shut up. That like threw me completely out of the zone. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Mattio.
That's fine. I need
He's
to
so
be out of
pleased
the
with
zone.
himself.
The
Look
zone
at
is
him.
where I'm comfortable. This is how I change. So thank you. But if it's terrible, that's entirely your fault. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
I know what it is.
Oh.
So while you're reading, you go really high into your register. A group of agents sent to investigate and out of the way. When you do that, you instantly sound like you're storytelling. You instantly sound like you're reading a book.
Okay.
Once upon a time, it's that tone.
Mm.
You need to bring that down. Because when you moved into the more serious stuff, recently we managed to find a person, to make it sound serious, that's going to be a little bit flatter. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. That sounds more straightforward. The way you were reading it, recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. You see, it's all fluttery and you keep going up over and over again.
Yes.
That sounds like you're reading from a book.
Okay.
Hey, Alice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you say that you were envisioning again when you were doing the read? What were you seeing?
A Professor X type dude.
Okay, please inform the uninformed. Who is Professor X?
Well, Professor X. Oh, Mateo's going crazy. Okay.
I apologize, Mateo, for
Please.
my lack of knowledge.
He's
Mateo
frantically
just had an
looking-
aneurysm.
He's
I'm
frantically
so
looking for a
Professor
table to
X.
flip.
He's the leader of the X-Men, but he's kind of a shadow leader in that he gives them their orders, he tells them what to do, he gives them their missions, but he doesn't really get involved that much because he's not quite as capable as them. But he is
Okay.
capable of getting. I can't get over what happened to Mateo.
Poor Mateo.
I'm
Okay.
doing Mateo too, actually.
Ignoring me accidentally giving Mateo
You can't see it right now, but he is flipping a table right now.
Oh, absolutely.
the
There is
startled
not a
and
doubt
well
in my mind.
startles.
Yeah, that's the only reason
Okay.
why he stepped away from his microphone and left the room, was to find a table to flip.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What have you
Also,
never done
Emily, Sir
that? Think
Patrick
you're some
Stewart.
kind of saint?
Don't know.
Sir Patrick Stewart. That's all.
Okay, so suffice it to say, I want to hear what it would sound like if instead of doing that, give a read where you are sitting at a fireside with your best friend, the one you trust absolutely
Is that a
most.
store? I've never heard that before.
At a-
What is that? What's a fireside? Is that just like
No,
like
no.
a thing?
No, like the
Literally
side of
by
a
a
fire.
side of a
Sitting
fire.
at the side of a fire.
That sounds so wrong in every way, but okay, yeah. The
Okay.
English language is stupid. Okay.
Sitting by a fire there, with the one you trust most with this mission, and you have to give them every detail that you have,
Frozen a daze.
and it's pressing.
It's okay, bud. You can come back.
Mateo, I'm sorry.
Only one of us is angry
I
at you, and
absolutely-
it's certainly not me.
Okay, now that Mateo officially hates me,
He doesn't hate
anywho.
you. He just hates the fact that you don't know who Professor X is.
Now that Mateo officially hates my lack of Marvel knowledge, try giving it that read of you're not working from the shadows. You are right in it. You are talking to the person that you trust most with this mission, and you are going to be there with them. Mateo, you don't hate everything now. You just hate me not knowing anything about Marvel.
He hates very things. Very things. I
His
don't know what
hate
very
has
thing
looped
is. but
right back
very many
around to
things.
nonchalance. He doesn't care anymore.
All right, read time. We're going to have to wrap up the recording here soon, so I want to get as much in as possible. Go for it.
Okay. Yeah. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Gonna retake that. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
Okay, and how was that?
I think it got rid of the storytelling vibe.
Okay, it apparently got rid of the storytelling vibe. Nobody else? Nothing else? See, I was actually hoping to hear this type of read with the accent that you were using before. Same emotional tone and everything, just with the accent.
I liked hearing it without the accent, but that's just me.
Okay. I mean, again, I don't necessarily disagree with you, CZ, but I still wanted to see if you could pull that off with the accent, Ellis.
I'm sure I could, but it would take a little more time for me to get into that same headspace.
Okay, because I think the main thing that was killing it was, again, you fluttered up into the higher area of your register, which sounds like the "once upon a time" sound. So that's going to be something that you would need to work on with that accent, particularly if you want to have more down to earth, serious characters.
Yeah. A group of agents.
Anything else from anybody else? Better with a non-accented read?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so for now.
God, I feel valid.
Meaning?
Doesn't matter. It's I just that's all.
It's
Good for me.
analyticism. It is analyticism.
I just feel
Clearly.
good. I'm happy.
All right, cool.
I'm
If
content.
that's a good thing, then cool.
All right, moving right along then. Ravi, you're up.
Gotcha.
Got this.
All right. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins, near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
I want a retake.
Yeah.
Dang,
Let's
didn't
do
even
that
wait for
again.
Michael to say go. Yeah.
Nah, it's fine. You don't need to. I do that just to prompt people to speak.
Yeah. Like I feel like you kind of really
Samey and
rushed into
Chop.
this.
Okay.
Who's your character, Robbie? What are you trying to go for?
In my head, I was imagining like a guy around a table just talking to his group and like getting a little frustrated about the situation because he had a lead and then it slipped away.
Okay. So while you're doing that, I want your character to like lean forward on the table, you know, hands crossed, get serious with who you're talking to.
Okay.
It's a good chance to use like mic technique
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So yeah, I'd like to hear that read. Like, yeah, that sounds really cool because that would be different than the rest, but like also, you know, like yeah, I like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month ago. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins, near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lorne, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lorne.
Two things. One, I want you to slow down the first half just a little bit more.
Gotcha.
Because right now, what I'm getting, it feels to me like I gotta hurry through this so that I can be done. I gotta ask, are you nervous? You feeling good? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm sort of new to this whole thing, so whenever I noticed, especially last time when I joined, I had that nervous break in my voice. So I'm trying to get that under control, but I don't know if I'm even that's rushing through it.
Yeah, just know, like, we're not saying these things because it's like, wow, this guy is garbage or anything like that. It's because we can see how the read can improve. It's not that we think it's bad, but it's like it can be better.
No, yeah, I got you. It just happens naturally, I think, for me. So I just need to work to cap it.
Gotcha. And then my other thing, this is a little more specific. I noticed that you pause at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Treat that as the old ruins near the inn. For example, it's a thing that is defined by its relationship to another thing. Like,
got it.
The Vons in the South Bay Galleria parking lot or whatever. There's no Vons in the South Bay.
Californian alert.
There's no Vons in the South Bay Galleria parking lot, but you know. But yeah, no, like it's the relationship of these old ruins is that it is near this thing. It's one idea.
Yeah.
There's no pause between those.
Got it.
So, Ravi, this group of agents, they're missing. They're your friends. Like, they might be dead. Like, you don't know. Like, I mean, how do you feel about your friends possibly being dead?
Yeah.
Like, I want you to have a little bit more of like concern about this situation, and like this might be a grim situation and stuff, because like what you're giving is like a pretty, I don't want to say it's monotone because it's not monotone, but you have this like same pace, like, right, except for the last sentence. You did nail the last sentence on the last read for me.
Yeah.
I loved that. But everything else was just kind of this not monotone. I don't know the word. But it was just this same rhythm and emotion. That was
got it.
So yeah, just play with it. When you do character work, like they want you to be like extra. Like maybe in your real life, like this is your concern sound, like the voice that you have, like this is like your concern in your normal life, but like with character stuff, like play it.
Yeah.
Play it like how you see it in like movies and media and stuff.
Yeah. I think like, because for the first line, I imagined it like it's the same organization, but like just a different group. So not necessarily as close, but yeah.
The other thing is when it comes to these, it's usually better to take more time than less.
Yeah.
It's usually better to take it a little bit slower and really paint the picture than to try to get through it as fast as you possibly can, because you're going to lose stuff. And even if your natural speaking tone is a little bit faster, it 9 times out of 10, I think the most common direction that character actors are always going to get is just slow it down. I think that's usually the direction that, like, if we average it out, probably overshadows everything else anybody else is going to say about a read, is just slow down the tone. So make sure that you are speaking in a way that you're trying to get somebody to understand the situation. You're trying to get them to see what's going on. So as an example, with a second sentence, if you say it a little bit too fast, it comes off, we can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. Smattering of words, easy to get lost.
Yeah.
But if you break it apart into some ideas and you slow it down a little bit, it comes to life. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown to us. You paint more of the scene that way. So slow it down a little bit. Take a little bit more time. Give us one more read, and then we're going to end the recorded portion of the mic check, but we're going to keep going with everybody who's still left.
I'm going to be nitpicky with just one little thing real quick before he goes on.
Okay.
Brett was saying how he had like a bit of a not monotone, whatever he called it. The one thing I noticed was with the line, our informer who introduced himself as Lauren, it went down just a smidge of a bit where it felt like it could have benefited more from a mid. Like not taking it too high, just kind of keeping it level. Because you went down, and then you went down again, and then you went down again.
Okay. A group of agents sent to investigate an out-of-the-way village called Rotwood disappeared a month. We can't even attempt a rescue mission since the village's exact location is unknown. Not much is known at all. Recently, we managed to find a person who promised to supply necessary information. A meeting was arranged at the old ruins near the inn called the Sleepy She-Wolf. Our informer, who introduced himself as Lauren, promised to wait for us there each morning from 8 to 10 o'clock. When we arrived, we found a camp that looked only a day or two old, but no sign of Lauren.
You know, I really appreciate the little characterization that you added in there towards the very end. Hold on to all of your thoughts. We're going to go ahead and end the recorded portion. We'll continue this right afterwards. So with that, thank you all so much for watching on YouTube. If you want the rest of this, if you want to see what keeps going on here, join us. It's the only way you're going to get the full experience. So thank you very much. See you again later. Be right back.